Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I got some bars to these.
Run Ryan.
And the other thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
What grade?
That one.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United. Nico, we're on the inside.
Yeah, man. Good night.
FA Cup final. No. To be honest, I'm not surprised by the result. All right. Now, considering a couple things, when you look at the form City in, and their motivation to, surpass, what the legend, Sir Alex Ferguson would have accomplished with the 98-99 team, that treble. They would have been highly motivated and they're in form, the result was more or less expected. We were not the favorites going into the game today. But if I'm honest, I think we made a fairly good representation of ourselves. I don't know if you agree with that, right? Because we were without Martial, we didn't have Anthony, Martinez wasn't there, against arguably the best resource team in world football at full strength, right? And you saw it. I mean, the gaps in possession and quality in possession was night and day between City and us, And as hard as it might be for us United fans to admit, the better team won the game today, right? Now, it don't always work out like that, Sometimes the better team don't always win, and I was hoping that might be the case for us today now, But again, I don't think Manchester United really let anyone down today. Them boy fight, right? And they fought for everything. And maybe, just maybe, the game could have gone on longer. And who knows what would have happened. I mean, we get shocked with our early goal. That kind of shake a little bit, but we were able to recover. And then the second goal happened. It is what it is.
Yeah.
What you saying?
Yeah, similar thoughts. Even before the game started, I would have messaged you, and I told you about, our bench now. When you look at our bench and our lineup, I think that is where, the gap is. The gap in quality is in quality and in depth now. I think we do have, quality in depth and quality in general, because as you have said, if you think about this team, the starting team today, if we start from the back, we start with the hair, right? And I mean, I know we will get into it, but when you think about even opposition goalkeepers, when they clear the ball, most of the time they clear it to somebody now. But when you look at the hair, every time they clear the ball, kicking it to the player out, and then there's pressure back on us again, So when I think about that, when I think about our midfield today, when I think about the Fred and Eriksen today, when I think about Basaka was our winger today. Basaka was our right winger. And that was the role Basaka had to play, attacking role, more or less today, and that is not his forte. When you think about that, when I think about Sancho and, Sancho, pretty boy kind of football, with not having a centre forward, not having Anthony, who does add that drive and that quality. You could say we're missing about 6 or 7 players who to bring this team up to that level now. And City had their full strength team. City had their full strength team, and more or less, with a bit more luck, I think the Nacho had an excellent chance to take to score. We had 1 or 2 other chances that maybe, with luck on our side, maybe we'd have tied up at 2-2. But the team has a long way to go. But you must say kudos to Erik ten Hag for the magic that he has done with his team over the season, and it's just really to get some more pieces of the puzzle into the team now. Imagine we
Yeah.
get some quality in the midfield. We get
Correct.
some quality in that midfield and we get that intensity with our wingers. Like you saw when Garnacho came on, you saw that intensity that we needed from Sancho. You saw that intensity that as much as wasteful that Anthony does be, you see that
We miss
intensity
it.
and that
We miss
desire
it.
and
Yeah.
that drive.
Yeah, we miss it. We
That's
miss
what we
it.
need now.
Yeah.
And any day I think we gave as good as we could have given. Unfortunately, as you guys said, the better team won. Unfortunate for us, but I think we didn't embarrass ourselves today at Wembley.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because that's what I was getting at. I mean, you look at the form City and you look at the issues that our team have, and then you go back to thinking about the 6-3, right? I mean, anybody would think, well, hey, here now, this could be a cricket score today, right? And when you look at the game, City didn't have no big set of chances where our goal was under pressure and we was by sweating. I think we kept them at bay. Yes, they were the better team all around overall, in terms of possession, moving the ball, dictating the pace of the game. But we were always a threat without being a threat. If you understand what I'm saying now, boy.
Yeah.
And I know Pep would have been on the sideline and wary of what we could do even at this phase and stage of Ten Hag's reign now, even with the missing players and that kind of thing. So we wasn't embarrassed. Given the whole pit here, them fellas fight. The 2 goals that we conceded one was a worldly and the other one was just unfortunate as far as I'm concerned. And we move. But I'm asking something, Nico, and guys in the comments, right? This is the first Manchester Derby final, right? Did you think it lived up to the billing?
To be honest, I don't think I'm in a position to really tell that because I was on work. I saw the first half. I didn't get to see the second half in entirety, even up to now. So to really give an honest opinion on that, I think I won't be giving it an honest opinion. However, what I could talk about from what I saw, the first half, I think it was. I think it was. The mere fact I would say it was is because I think Manchester United, I think today we gave all that we could have given, talking with the resources we had. So imagine if we had that quality on the field with the desire, and the organization that we had today. It would have been a better game, but I think we gave as good as we could have given today.
Yeah. I agree with you. I thought that it did. It was actually one of the better games I would have watched in terms of from a tactical point of view now, because City came with all they had, and we were able to keep them at bay and still threaten at some levels now. So I thought it was a good final, but unfortunately, the way how City won it, I really hoped it wasn't that kind of way now, but suffice it to say that's how it.
Yeah, and it's more like, the first goal, all right, but still was from a dead ball set play. It's not like they broke us down and really created those chances now. The first goal, if we talk about that, the knockdown, we know Lindelof could have been more physical, not to let the ball bounce. We could nitpick on certain things, but again, the first goal was a worldly.
Yeah.
And as much as somebody might blame De Gea for the first goal, I don't think he could have done much, for that first goal. The second goal again, set play. We're always talking about why we doesn't mark the man on top, how much time we see that during the season. But again, set play. So the next City broke us down. Haaland would have caught a world of chances. But it was unfortunate today, and I think as we give a good account of ourselves today.
And I really think though, the 2 City goals, I mean, I know we could argue quality and whatever, but you get Gundogan that shot, and 1 out of 10 times, I 9 out of 10 times I feel he missing that, right? Given the
Them
consideration
fellas
of how
is
they,
quality, yeah. Them
no,
fellas
there's
is quality,
quality,
yeah.
there's
With
quality.
no
I
pressure,
ain't saying
eh?
no,
With
I
no
ain't saying
pressure,
no.
with no pressure.
I ain't saying no, but I don't feel on another day Gundogan
Yeah,
scoring that, right? That's
that
what I'm
one.
saying.
Yeah,
And then the
yeah.
second,
I
even
get
the second one as well, because when you look, he kicked that, that kind of
yeah,
roll
he
off, he
fluffed that,
boots,
he fluffed that, he
he
fluffed
fluff
that
and
one
it
second
bongs
one.
past this one, it bongs that one, and they misjudge it a
Yeah,
little bit. So the two goals that
yeah,
City score was real, they were real fortunate. You
yeah.
understand?
And he has suspect on that side, eh? That right
On the
side, eh?
second one, yeah. So I
No,
mean,
but I'm talking about on the making saves on the right side, he has suspect.
yeah,
I realized that one now, and it's not just the West Ham goal, not just the goal today. Shots on his right side, he does fumble it, and I've seen that.
let me just get some of the comments there, and then we'll move on, right? So, Ray Ralal on the inside, good night, buddy. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying here, I honestly think if Garnacho starts, we'd win that game. Ericsson wasn't it. You know, all right, let me go try and I will post because Ramlal raised a good point there, right? He's saying, I'm proud of the team though. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Aaron Jones on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining. He's saying Martial was short of score though.
Would you have put in your house on that?
Simeon on the inside, thanks for joining, Simeon. He's saying no number 9, never again. Yeah, we ain't going through. Ten Hag making sure we don't find ourselves in this situation again. Trust me, he learned. Lessons learned.
Yeah.
Right? Christopher on the inside, good night, Christopher. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying we had no striker. Rashford is not a striker. They had to score 2 free goals. I'm satisfied with the fight, not the result. Of course. Fully agree with that. Siobhan Shaw was on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. Martinez surely missed. Yeah, Martinez.
And again, there's another player that, you know, when you add to what we have or what we even don't have, this team could only get stronger. You know, as long as I get back in the transfer window, this team could be a excellent team next season.
A force. Yeah. And Martinez, we can't, it's undeniable, you know, his contribution in terms of progressing the ball from the back and building the football from the back now. You know,
that composure, that aggression.
Correct.
You know, that's top notch. That's world class. That world class quality we missing.
Tell
you know? Yeah. And imagine we missing world class in so much positions. You know, the centre back, the forward, even the winger. You know, we missing. Imagine we get 2-3 pieces of world class players inside of there.
Yeah, boy.
And that could make a big difference.
Yeah. Guys, don't forget to like and share the podcast, right? We want to get more people in on the content, so we appreciate it, right? We have 9 people on the inside. You know, like it up and let me match the views with the likes, right? Back to this question where Ramlal, this comment here, right? He said, honestly, think if Garnacho starts, we would have win that game, right? What would you have done, or would you have done anything different to Ten Hag with the starting 11 and the substitutions?
The starting 11, no, to be honest. You know, I would have predicted that starting 11 even before. So nothing with the starting 11. Garnacho, I think Garnacho time is going to come, and it may come sooner than anyone. In fact, I don't think anyone have a question mark in terms of where Garnacho may start next season. You know, I think Garnacho is going to take over Sancho pick. You know, without a doubt. I think that without a doubt, a healthy summer, a healthy preseason, and I think Sancho will be looking over his shoulder. You know, I don't think he's aggressive enough. You know, to play for Manchester United and to play for a big team where, you know, you need to have that fearlessness now. You know, advantage. You need to be fearless. You know, like how Martinez fearless, like how Anthony fearless. Even Bruno, Casemiro, Varane. These are fearless players who doesn't cower in big games, you know, and could stand up. Because if you saw City today, City was very physical. City kicking down players. You know, if you saw today when Bernardo Silva kicked down Shaw, early in the first half, right? And that's the aggression because they want to win and they know what they need to win. You would not see Sancho doing that because that's talking about with how soft Sancho is. It had a tackle with he and Grealish today in the first half, right? And he going to shake Grealish hand and all our national team. Grealish say, "But I don't touch you," you know. What I mean, he's shaking our hand. Or I think it was Rashford, maybe it was even Rashford. So that's the mentality that them fellas do have now, and that they need to develop that. When we out to the field here, we come to
It's
win. You know,
war.
friend
Yeah, it's
thing
war.
is yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of the starting 11, I'd go with the same starting 11, but again, it's just cementing certain things now. You know that when Ganacho came on and showed that performance, then Sancho know the writing on the wall. You know, the substitutions again. I think Ten Hag made the right decisions, to be honest. Because when you look at the bench, he did not on the bench. I really couldn't see him doing anything different. Maybe other than pulling off Ericsson earlier, because Ericsson wasn't really giving anything much physical in the middle of the field. I think in the middle of the field, our spine was very weak. But other than that, I think Ten Hag got it right. Ten Hag got it right.
I had to agree with your assessment of Sancho, and especially with our whole kind of let we leave, all the familiarities off the
Yeah.
pitch until after the game, because even and it was I don't know if you had see it, right? Half time, Bernardo was talking to the referee and Bruno going to talk to him and he push off Bruno because I know I'm that right now. I about
Exactly.
business. You understand? And I think Bruno get the point and Bruno, went his way. But that's the kind of mentality that I need to see from the players. And once we
Yeah.
carry that mentality onto the pitch, then they will see it in the attitude and how we approach the ball. You won't
Exactly.
see men pulling out at 50-50s, them kind of, or 70-30s. You won't
Exactly.
see them kind of thing
Yeah.
happening. You
And I
understand?
guess
And that is
it's
some.
not a lot of Ericsson today too. That's pulling out. I mean, he more likely to win the ball and the next team winning it. That is how
Yeah.
aggressive they were now. But sorry for cutting that across.
Yeah, no, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I want to see start happening with the team. Let we pass side this friend and partner thing until after the game. We could talk how much we want in the tunnel and after the game and exchange jersey and take pictures. We could do that after the game. I don't know issue with that. The football change, right? Many like Roy Keane then. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is when we're on the pitch, let we know is war, right? Phil, what you saying, buddy?
Yeah. Good night, guys. Not the best way to end the season, but I mean, if you look at the season overall, it's been an overachievement with regards to what the general consensus was at the beginning of the season. And by that I mean, I guess nobody had us to win any trophies or get to any finals or even finish in the top four, right? But I guess to be more detailed about today's game, um, a few things we learned in today's game that we kind of saw in the season as well. Um, I made a list here, and I don't normally make lists for anything, but I put that list somewhere. I'll find it later on. Um, I think Lindelof, Fred, Sancho, Christian Eriksen. Um, those guys can't be part of the first team come next season. David De Gea, thank you. You have been a great servant to the club. You have been a great servant with regards to being our first team keeper for the last, what, maybe 10 years. But I think there comes a time where all good things must come to an end. And I think you have to definitely hold some bench next season. We definitely need a keeper to challenge for David De Gea. And that keeper will eventually, under the right guidance of Ten Hag and the coaches under Ten Hag, will eventually become Manchester United's number one goalkeeper for the next 3-4 seasons. Jadon Sancho, I could be a bit harsh. I think you've been a flop since you came to Manchester United. I think there have been no moments where I've thought where you could have impacted us whether it was throughout the season and even in today's game. Jadon Sancho, I definitely was one hoping that you would have brought back your Dortmund days, and lo and behold, I haven't seen those Dortmund days in 3 or 4 matches in a row. Sancho definitely, I have been frustrated with. I've been telling many people after the game that I'm giving Jadon Sancho until January 2024 to get his act together. After that, I gotta say goodbye. Spending 70 mil on Jadon Sancho, and he hasn't given us what we wanted from Dortmund. That has to be a point in time where you got to cut your ties, right? Um, today also, today and this season also proves that we need an out and out striker going forward next season. In terms of if we need a striker over a goalkeeper, it all depends on my mood, man. Some days I would say, yo, we need definitely a hurricane or a, a top quality striker so that Marcus Rashford cannot do it by himself. And then other days it's like, yo, David De Gea, I don't want to see in our net anymore. I have no problem. I have no problem with David De Gea, but there just comes a time where you got to say, going forward, if we want to catch up to Manchester City, we can't have David De Gea in goal. One, to go back to the front line, Marcus Rashford cannot do it by himself. I was a bit harsh earlier, talking with people today and even early in the season, saying Marcus Rashford is not the guy to lead us to an EPL title. And it's a bit harsh, but I'm going to add on a bit to it. Marcus Rashford can lead us to an EPL title if he has somebody up top better than him, who has better decision making than him, right? Um, Christian Eriksen, we know his capabilities, but we also know his limitations as well too, right? Great guy, but he will make a great squad player coming off of the bench, right?
I think that
So
at Inter.
yeah, exactly, right? So um, I don't. With regards to today's match, I there may have been 1 or 2 players I was upset with. I think Lindelof and Fred should have communicated better for letting De Bruyne through. Not De Bruyne, letting De Bruyne jump for that football. Because imagine you're just sitting down amongst your fellow Manchester United peeps, and where it was, the bar was just full of Manchester United fans. As soon as City kicked off, everybody's clapping. And within 16 seconds, the entire bar was quiet. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. David De Gea doing Frozen like Elsa. And I don't know, boy. My mind is just pointing back to David De Gea. I think those 2 goals could have been prevented if we had a better goalkeeper in bars, right? There were times um, in the middle of the park where we were just letting City do what they want to do, right? There are times where there's a clip online. I will find it for you guys after the podcast because I retweeted it and saved it. There's a clip online where John Stones receives the ball from Ortega in the 18-yard box.
Yes, I saw that one, and he turned like it, like
And
prime PLO.
he turned like Perlo, Sergio Busquets, and run past. He likes a Fred and whoever was in the midfield next to Fred.
Yeah.
We can't. We didn't have the ability. We don't have the ability to do that, right? The amount of times our ball was on the ground was only when we were back passing. Anytime we wanted to push a ball forward, for some reason it had to go in the air. Marcus Rashford is not 6'7". Why are we always looking to punch the ball in the air or play direct football towards Marcus Rashford? If we're going to play direct football, spray it to the wing, spray it to the Wan-Bissaka, spray it to Bruno, Espirito Sancho on the wings, but everything going forward. There was no passing on the ground. And I'm like, this can't be Manchester United. This squad is so inconsistent. I can end off by saying, Ten Hag, you definitely have your work cut out for you, and the real test comes in the next 2 years. Still ending off. I don't care who we sign. Sorry, when it comes to football, I don't care what team you support and who you sign. Right? If those players don't have a system and philosophy to adapt to, it will never work out. I kid you not. A philosophy and a system of play must be instilled because it's easy for Pep Guardiola to take out one player out of his squad and just slot another player in because they already have been drilled with the philosophy and system of play that Pep wants, right? Pep can make some of the most average looking players look good because City, Barcelona, Bayern Munich are playing possession football, but it's also a style of discipline as well too, right?
But who is the average player that City has that that does make look work?
Who is average?
Nathan
Akanji,
Ake,
Nathan Ake,
Akanji.
Akanji, Steve.
Akanji is not world class.
No, he's not.
Akanji is not world class.
No,
Nope.
I will debate
No.
that.
No.
I would debate that. Starting
I
from
wouldn't say
Switzerland,
he's
starting
not
for Switzerland as one of Switzerland's main player.
world class.
players.
Nico, come on, man.
He's
I
not-
think we're dropping the body.
Akanji
He's
is
a
not
very
world class.
very good defender, but I don't think he's world class. I don't think
He's
he's
not world class.
Akanji is world class.
No, he isn't.
Alright.
Akanji for a centre back.
I ain't seen
Akanji
that.
is world class.
Akanji not
I am
Akanji not even in the top 10 centre backs of the last 3-4 years, Nico.
It don't matter if he's not in the top 10. Well, to me, I may be biased on it.
Okay, but if
any
to you
comments
if he's world class, we'll have that
me,
discussion
I
some
say
other
he's
time.
world class.
But all I'm saying is that the likes of Akanji, Ake, you saw how Ortega was so comfortable on the football today in goal.
Yeah, the goalkeeper.
So
yeah.
comfortable. Was Ortega even tested today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just get a comment because it's something Phil mentioned there, and I just want to get one of Ten Hag's comments here, and this kind of gave me a little bit of peace and confidence, in what his intentions are. He said here, going forward, I have only one plan. That is to improve this club. I will fight for my ideas. I will talk to the club about what we have to do for that. Right now, we've always heard with the previous managers, that they will continue to work within the confines, but seeing and experiencing what Ten Hag had to experience this season with the players and the levels of inconsistencies and unreliability, and when you're considering who the club that you aspire to beat, I don't want to say aspire to be, I'm saying aspire to beat the likes of Manchester City, you can see the difference, the gap too big.
Yeah.
So we can't go forward playing Dolly House and sentiment and that kind of nonsense. Right? So this club has to improve. And he said he will fight for his ideas. So that giving me some encouragement that the man will go and sit down and play dead with fourth and fifth choice signings. If we want to be the best, then you have to deliver with my requests. And if I request this particular player, then if you had to move heaven on earth to get a player, or else don't expect me to make no kind of magic, right? And for me, those are the kind of things that are a little bit encouraging for me going forward, right? And I really hope that Ten Hag is given the resources. Because look, we're talking about the here, right? When Pep Guardiola came in, and this is me putting aside all this nonsense Man City did to reach where they are, right? But when Pep Guardiola came in, he tell Joe Hart from day one, hey, you're going on, you ain't cutting it in. He bought in Claudio Bravo. After a season, Pep realized Claudio Bravo wasn't it. And then he went and get Edison, right? And how much time this man changed over his defense? So all I say means say that Man United have to go and do what City do and thing. But if we show and we scouting properly and we researching players properly, then get the man who he wants. Don't wait last minute and drag transfers on.
And third and fourth choice players.
Yeah, let me overs that kind of nonsense now. If we want to be a top team and we want to challenge City in finals and we want to be the best in Europe and the best in England, give us the best players. And it doesn't necessarily mean the most expensive or the most popular players in it. The best suited players for what Ten Hag want to achieve. Like all I say. Let me get some comments there, guys. Alright. Anderson on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. Alright, Siobhan saying here, Garnacho not ready for starting games as yet. Consistently, I gotta say, I think it have games he could start, right? Anderson saying here, disappointed but not discouraged. Yeah, I think that was summed up perfectly. Kaden on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying good night, fellas. The boys gave what they had of them for the last game. The goals, and this shows the deficiencies in the team. Yeah. We could only score from the penalty spot. Alright, Kristen on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying Eriksen was poor and they are supposed to save that second goal. Like, we don't know that, right? I mean, Kristen, by so much thing David they are supposed to do. Jody on the inside, blessed night to you, buddy. So, I really believe Man United was winning this game. Anderson saying here, totally agree. He's only 19. I think he agreed with Siobhan with not ready to start games yet.
I have a question mark, but I would agree to that point. Because when you think about Barcelona and Pedri and Gavi and them fellas, as much as we don't say the better, I think Garnacho on that level. But again, I mean, the Premier League is a different animal, but I think he's ready. I think he's ready next season.
Yeah. I don't think he will cement down a first team spot, but I think, he dared to start games. That is my thing on it. Javed on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying Eriksen should not have started. The only issue I had today, too much work for him.
But who would have started, instead of Eriksen today? Who would? Because we normally play our best football with Eriksen in the team, eh?
Matt Tomlin coming off an injury, so I mean, I gotta ask Javed, who would you rather
who else? Yeah.
start, right? So I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm not agreeing with you either. So I just challenge you to tell me who would you have rather started, who would have been your midfield today, right? So
from who available? It's not like it had it's not nobody,
Not nobody, yeah.
Siobhan saying here Eriksen can't start these games. McTominay should have started today.
Disagree.
And this is what we just always say. When McTominay a day,
Disagree.
we say, well, McTominay. When this one a day, Martial a day. When Martial day is.
Yeah. That's just that's just this team. So that's why we had to clear them fellas on them and bring some consistent quality. Jesus on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying, fellas, good to see you all. Still at it. Glory. Yeah, man. All in all United all the time, man.
Boy. This team win, lose, or tie. We can still be here, boy.
Yeah.
Still be here.
Ray saying here, okay, if I didn't start Ghana, obviously Bruno was going on the right wing. How can Ten Hag think Eriksen have the legs to compete with that City midfield? I honestly think he got that decision wrong in terms of playing.
I guess he started with Scott. Like I could say that Scott, Fred, and Customer in the midfield.
No, I can't start Scott and Fred. I can't start Scott and Fred in the same midfield.
Really, we want to know who you have start, but where are we line up? Really interesting to know.
And you see, what we have to remember too is, remember you're going into a game not knowing a man can give you a fault or 10 sometimes. You look at a man's ability and what he doing for the team in terms of, some level of ball retention, some level of ball security. And Eriksen, to some extent, giving it that as opposed to Fred or McTominay. When Fred play in these games, he has a specific responsibility. That is not to dictate the tempo. That is to be a nuisance. You understand? So when you put McTominay in there, he's not giving you what Fred getting, and he can't get you what Eriksen getting you. So what are we doing? Where's the game plan? Right? Siobhan saying here, we need guys with height and meet our players getting screened very easy today. But then when you watch men like Bruno,
Bernardo Silva.
yeah, he don't get screen off so easy.
Siobhan, this in basketball. We just need players of good quality. That's all. It is in basketball.
Yeah.
Players we need height. Sorry.
Yeah. King on a really put on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. He's saying Sancho soft and Eriksen too slow.
True.
Yeah, I think next season we had to pick and choose games for these fellas. You know, these fellas can't be we go-to men, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for us, the team. Because it mean we'll be better. Alright, Jody saying here Ten Hag made a mistake by starting Eriksen. Garnacho left, Rashford on top, Sancho right, Bruno in the 10.
I guess hindsight is golden. Hindsight is golden.
I'm so confused. Who instead of starting Eriksen, who would you have started? That's the thing.
I think you say Garnacho.
Nah, Garnacho. I don't think Garnacho is not consistent at starting. Garnacho is more of an impact sub. We've seen it this season.
But the same way we could have taken Garnacho could have a good game, you know. So
you doesn't know.
It's 6-1 after
yeah, you doesn't know. Jesus saying here, I want to ask, did we learn anything different from this game? For me, it's the same old. We were living on a prayer for a lot of matches this season. Ten Hag has done a masterful job with the cards he has been dealt. Yeah, well said, Jesus.
No doubt.
Kaden saying here, we really have a thin squad. Eriksen shouldn't have started this game. We saw why. But we have no quality of the bench besides the 18-year-old Garnacho. And that was the only quality option of the bench. That's the only person you can watch on the bench and say, hey, this is a possible game changer here. Nobody else.
Pep got the likes of Julian Alvarez and Phil Foden to bring on. And Riyad Mahrez as well, too. So, I mean...
You understand? Jesus also saying here, fellas, here now, I don't see at least 6 quality players bought to do what all right. If I don't see at least 6 quality players brought to preseason, yeah, and walk into this team, then we're not serious. If Pep wins the Champions League, the next step is the quadruple to further differentiate himself from the pack. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but 6 players.
No, I think 6. I think 6, Nico, is the minimum.
6.
I can see 3.
No, here it's a goalkeeper. If you listen to Ten Hag comments, he did say we're going for a goalkeeper. That is a centre back.
Kim Major.
Right. And number 6 to back up Casemiro.
Probably Caicedo or Rice, and they will walk into the squad.
We're sure we getting this. That player now called it.
No. But I'm just talking.
No, I'm just saying. No, I guess calling the positions, right? Phil calling the players, right?
Calling the names.
Right.
That's
then
true.
you're talking about.
No. I don't feel we're going for a player to back up Casemiro.
We have to.
You think we have to?
Yes.
You think we have to?
You see the gaping hole when Casemiro got suspended or miss a game.
So when Casemiro don't start, who you can play
no,
that
if Ten Hag learn from this season, right? When Casemiro not there or Casemiro type player not there, how the team does suffer and the adjustments you have to make to play this one here and play that one there. Yeah. Then what Ten Hag learn?
Yeah, I think because to get a player in that position, especially if we don't have 500 or 600 million to spend, I think he might spend that money on a player that we need.
Well,
he'll be lower priority. That position will be a lower priority position.
But what I'm saying is, we don't have to spend, and there's the problem. We don't have to spend 100 million on every position that we want to fill. Right, and this is my thing. I done ready to release all this popular names. I want players to come in and improve the squad, right? That probably nobody even know about, and this man will walk into the team.
And I have a question mark with that because the scouting had to be top notch because at the end of the day, right? Real Madrid going for the best players, Manchester City going for the best players, and even Barcelona, who in financial struggles, going for the best players in the world. The top teams in the world going for the best players. Why are we going for second-rate players who nobody knows about and hoping that they come good? Are we hoping they come good?
But who second-rate players we going for?
The players that nobody knows about that we hoping that come good. Look,
No,
look what
but what I'm saying,
Madrid
but what I'm
won
saying,
Chelsea.
all right, let me
right?
ask you something, Nico.
Eh.
That what you're saying, there has always been the thing for clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona and whoever who were on top football. They will always go for the best player. But our DNA, right? And
I will feel it. We know what. Now I go feel. Go ahead.
Right? Our DNA has always been, developing players, right? And I will always go back to the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo as a prime example. If we scout proper and we bring in the right players, then we don't need to always be going after who is the big name and who is the best player, who's the most popular player all the time. I'm not saying that we can't, because look, I all for Harry Kane. I all for Harry Kane, but what I'm saying is that have certain positions, we do not necessarily have to go for the best because we do not have the financial resources at the moment for that. So why we can't go and get a player that probably nobody may not know about that will come in and give us 7 out of 10 when we see Casemiro unavailable. That's what I'm talking about. We don't know that we're going to spend 100 million to bring in Harry Kane. We don't know chances are we're going to bring in Mount, we're going to bring in Kim Min-jae, and these guys are going to cost a certain amount of money.
But
so what I'm saying,
here's the thing as well.
is
too,
if we're
right?
going to fill like these other positions, why we have to spend 100 million on everybody we buy?
Because we are too poor. We are too poor of a club in terms of performances. So when we go for a Cristiano Ronaldo, it had players at the club that had the quality at the club up here. But no, we
Let me ask you something, Nico. How much you feel? Go back and check. Go back and check.
We want to be on
right.
top of world football. Otherwise, we will continue being a developmental
club.
Let
me ask you something, Nico.
Sell them to Real Madrid and whoever else.
I can ask you something. No, hear me. Listen, this same fella who you're saying world class, Akanji. How much you feel City pay for him? You feel them pay 100 million for him?
About 25, 50 million.
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So we
don't
need to spend 100 million.
Quality player.
Yeah, but Nico, nobody was talking about Akanji. Nobody was talking about Akanji, big man.
I have always admired Akanji. Who wasn't watching him, but I have always admired him and saw him as a quality player.
How much people was after Akanji? How much people was after Akanji when City went for him? Why does he only went for $25 million? This is what the point I'm trying to get to here.
But you spoke about Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at the team that Akanji coming into. You're coming into a team that Akanji coming into that already
and he
walk
into the starting lineup, Nico. So
he walk into the starting lineup because of injuries. He walk into the starting lineup because of injuries.
But look, everybody fit and he playing.
But Nico, Nico, when it comes to scouting is slowly but surely coming to an end. You think Manchester United Football Club is going to send scouts to scout Harry Kane? No. You think Manchester United is going to send scouts to scout Diego Costa?
All I'm saying is the bargain buys sometimes we looking for, we're going to busting. You see, Fred, you went for a bargain with Fred. In fact, still even pay 50 million for Fred.
Fred was no bargain, right? Fred was expensive. Right? That was a big money signing.
Fred was worth 56 million.
I was saying, how we could look at Fred and say Fred is a big name signing.
Because anyway, City wanted him. Exactly.
That is why because City wanted him. Right? But what I'm saying is, if we want to get back and if we're serious about winning and being top of world football, we have to go. From where the team is now, we need to step up. And to make that step up, we need quality players. And if after that we bring in players and hope they develop, then But
this is
the gap too wide. Right now, the gap is too wide.
And I hear that. So what I'm saying is, spend the 100 million on Harry Kane. Spend the money on our centre back, spend the money on our goalkeeper, right? But we already have Casemiro, top level quality. He gonna be playing 95% of the games, and all I'm saying is for that 5%, right? Why we can't bring in somebody to fill that gap when Casemiro need a rotation, in case of suspension, and I'm saying you do have to spend 100 million on that player. That's what I'm saying. Right, so that's what I was saying. A player, that probably nobody know about that really. Look at Caicedo. Nobody didn't know about Caicedo. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, we didn't know about him. I might have said
5 million. Yeah, but how much you didn't know about Caicedo at that time, Nico? How much you didn't know about Caicedo, really?
Nobody know about Caicedo. Nobody know about Matoma. These guys.
And these men balling, dog. So that's what I'm saying. So going back, right? So I say 6. Goalkeeper, centre back, a DM, Mount, Kane, and who's the next one?
That's it.
Okay, so 5.
Is it? Okay.
I think we could more than do 5
That's
signings.
5. That's 5, which is one less than 6, right?
Yeah,
We got
and then too, it had Frimpong, but then again, I read just recently that they say probably Ten Hag might stay with Bissaka and Dalot.
yeah.
Yeah, so Jesus saying here, if Pep wins the... Yeah, so good. Yeah, we had that comment. Siobhan saying here, Casemiro was the only player jumping to win them balls non-stop in the loft. Woof. Boy, we miss Martinez. Yeah. Anderson saying here, Akanji was given away by Dortmund. Right? I think his contract, something with that, right? His contract was probably running down. Christopher saying here, it's all well and good to compare City's style to our lack thereof, but at what point was Ten Hag able to implement a style? Our preseason was a shambles with only one new player there. And this is why I think he wants all his new players as much as possible ready for preseason, right? And this is saying I have full respect for Ten Hag this year and full support. Me too, boy. And I always refer to Nico Mantra. Yeah. Jody saying here, blaming De Gea for them goals earlier on nonsense. Your first goal was a
You
bit
say
of a
earlier, Jody. You say earlier.
Jody, I don't think Jody was here earlier.
Yeah, you need. If it wasn't here earlier, then earlier for line through it, right? And put Phil. Go ahead.
Yeah, you say the first goal was a bit of a strike, and that would have beaten any goalkeeper. Second goal came through a lot of players, and even
the second goal he can do better. Come on.
Yeah, he managed to get his hands
It's
on
very
it
hard
late,
to
but
say.
unfortunately.
It's very hard. I let Erik continue the comment, but it's very hard to say that would have beaten any goalkeeper when David De Gea didn't make any attempt to even save it, right?
Nah, that first goal, no, Phil, to be honest, that first goal was a beauty.
It was.
The
But I mean,
second goal, he should have done better, especially getting a hand to the ball. He should have done better.
Yeah. A chain is as strong as its weakest link, and that link was Eriksen. You know.
Yeah, we could put blame all over.
So Jody. Yeah.
We could blame Lindelof. We could blame Eriksen. We could blame Sancho. We could blame De Gea.
We could blame the wind. We could blame the wind.
We all kind of things.
Christopher saying here, key players in this team were missing for prolonged periods, for too long, and that messed with us bad. And I think me and Nico had made the point earlier as well. City was playing with a full strength team while we were missing so many players. Yeah. So I mean, it's unfortunate, you know. Jody saying here, why they don't blame the attackers for not finishing their chances? Always the keeper. What chances we had today?
What chances we had, Jody?
No. De Gea had Garnacho had a quality chance that I think he should have taken.
Yes, second half. Rashford had a chance as well.
Rashford had a quality chance as well. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Varane had a chance from the corner as well too.
Yeah, but I see that. I don't think
that was a tough chance. It looked good, but that was a tough chance.
Simeon said here, look at the money spent for not the best example, the right side. Exactly, Harry. We buy the speed merchants that have no skill. He gone. We buy Sancho with all the skill, no bite. We buy Anthony with all fight and 1 foot.
Anthony will come good. Anthony will come good.
We have to get our recruiting right. Hey, yeah.
But true. I get the recruiting right.
I
like that comment. That's a nice comment.
Yeah. Darren on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying, give this side of respect. We get shake up with the early goal and grew into the game. Right? This is the same City side blow out Madrid a few weeks back. Some better passes in midfield today and we win. The battle was in midfield. We had a clear game plan and it worked even after the early goal. We wasn't bad today. Hats off to the decent season. Yeah. Well said, Darian. Simeon also saying here, I think the fellas wanted another formation or attacker on the field, i.e. Garnacho. I think Ten Hag still have that beating from City in mind and not taking any chance. I think after a while he went for it because he took off Lindelof, he threw on McTominay and he tell McTominay something.
Bring on Wakehorse and beer jump board.
Yeah. Siobhan saying here, Brentford beat Man City twice this season. Check their formation they use. Tell us now, I can't remember what they use.
Yeah, but we are Manchester United. We're not gonna follow Brentford formation. That is Brentford formation. if Ten Hag have a way we want to play, you know what I mean? You should
Yeah.
have to be studying Brentford formation.
Red on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying a man who the team was depending on enjoy hamstring while walking around.
You know that happening
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. We don't that much well. We not gonna have them kind of problems again next season. Right? Kaden saying here, if we are to compete next season, we need 5 to 6 players that are quality starters. Yeah, them fellas are to walk into the starting line 11. I ain't want no men to be on no bench, dog.
I ideal.
Let me wait and
supporting
see,
this
right?
team- supporting this team
Too long, eh?
too long to no 6 new signings walking through that door.
But
But it
how much
happened.
signings we signed last season?
I walk into the first team: Martinez, Casemiro,
Right.
Anthony,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Four.
That's 4.
Like
and
4.
then Malacia got a lot of minutes in the early, like 5.
Yeah,
So come on,
Malacia
man.
got a
Let's
lot
not
of
fall
minutes.
into-
Malacia walking no team. We buy Malacia for 12 million, whatever. Come on. He ain't walking in no team.
All right, so
But
four,
still,
four,
4
four
out of
out
6
of
not
the-
bad.
4 out of the
Four.
5 signings. 4
And
out
now
of
I
the 5
say
signings.
I seen 4.
Nah, we
But
getting
6
6 this season.
To see
6
6
we
walking
getting
through that door, I'll be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
But remember,
quality.
remember it's
Six
5
quality players.
remember it's 5 I label for you, and one of them is Casemiro under study. Yeah?
Nico, I can name about 6 players in our first team that I think should not be starting next season for our first team.
Yeah.
That's 6 there. Jadon Sancho's 1.
But I
Right.
think he could be wrong. But
Listen,
One start.
Jadon Sancho's 1. Tony
But he
Martial
is
is 2.
starting at all. It shouldn't even count him because he not even starting.
No, but I'm telling you,
Not
I can name about 6 players that should not be
Yeah.
starting our first next season. David De Gea is 1. Rafael Varane. I'm being harsh. Rafael Varane is 2.
Yeah, real harsh. but
Yeah,
I
but
know.
yeah, what you feel?
Yeah,
But-
yeah,
but-
be
but-
real
but-
harsh.
but-
Be
okay,
real
okay.
harsh.
Wait. Okay, listen. We signed Kim Meja next season. We signed Kim Meja in the summer. Who's your
Yeah.
starting back for?
Well,
He's
I
on
think,
that study
no.
on-
But here what going on, right? Here what
He
going
on
on,
that study
Phil.
to Varane.
No. You know what I feel that with Kim Min-jae? Here what happened, right? You remember what Ten Hag do with Maguire and Varane? Varane go start. And he go wait for Varane to get injured. Kim Min-jae will come in and once...
a couple more games.
And he go bring in Kim Min-jae, and if Kim Min-jae represent, he could be the fixture. That's what I feel.
Anyway,
that.
I all right. So I could put an asterisk over Varane for no, right? Nothing against Varane. Is just that I think we need somebody more solid than him next to Lisandro
More
Martinez.
solid than Varane, boy.
Yeah.
If it's say more robust,
Yeah.
you know, I would say yeah, but Varane is
All right,
quality,
so
boy.
I could put David De Gea an asterisk over Varane. Christian Eriksen, that's 3. That's 3. Jadon Sancho, that's 4.
You shouldn't even check Jadon Sancho in that.
But Jadon Sancho start.
Check
Jadon
Martial.
Sancho start.
Check Martial. But
Tony
you,
Martial, that's 5.
Jadon Sancho should be starting because listen, we get a centre forward, and we get and you put Rashford on the left, then and you put Anthony on the right. You have no place for Sancho in that team. He might need make the bench,
But the
He
reason
go make the bench,
but
bro.
but he might even make the bench.
just to use Nico's exact words, the reason why Jadon Sancho is starting is because we don't have a centre forward.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Put Martial in that, right? So then we get a centre forward, we put Martial on the left, and we have Sancho with the under 23s until he shape up, and we
Nico.
bring Ahmad in the team.
Nico, we bring in about 7 players, at least 5 in the
Good,
team.
7.
Yeah.
I think 5. I think
Go
5.
set yourself for that.
5, 6 could be a bonus. I think 5 with 6 being a bonus. That's what I think. All right. Doing on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. All right. Siobhan saying Kobe Mano and Gavin Birch for Casemiro.
Robin
All right.
Burke is a lovely player. I love Robin Burke. Lovely.
All right. Kaden saying here, Nico, you want Ten Hag to go for big name players that don't fit his system and philosophy.
I never
Man
said that.
do
You
his
see,
thing.
you're putting words in my mouth. How I could say for Ten Hag to go for players that does not fit his system and philosophy, that would be madness. That would be even idiotic to even think that Ten Hag will go for players that doesn't fit his system and philosophy and spend over the top for them. That don't even make sense.
Yeah. Anderson saying here, going after big name is what gets me in this position. Maguire
No.
at the time, Sancho, Fred Sanchez.
No. Ten Hag wasn't in charge. we didn't have that philosophy. We didn't have that ideology. We didn't have that plan. We were just going for players because City going for them and for this one going for them, and we had no plan in the transfer window. The scouts wasn't working. Them were just breathing out. Look when this guy Ragnick reached he have staff scouts get let go because the guy exposed wasn't doing the work, right? So with Ten Hag in place, that it happened if Ten Hag spend money on that player.
We pay
Player will come good.
You pay 100,000 for Garnacho from Atletico Madrid. Okay.
Impressive.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody except Inter Milan was after Akanji. All right. Jody. Right. I think that's doing Senior Ericsson should not be starting.
Agreed.
So fellas, So guys, let me see. Right. Ten Hag get all his first choice targets this summer, and I'm just going to, just based on reports, I'm just going to call some names. Right. Kane, Mount, Rice, Kim Min-jae, right? I'm just calling those names based on the reports and the links, right? It don't have to be these. But let me just say he gets all his first choice targets. How far off from City do you think we'd be? Do you see us in a title challenge? I mean, considering what Ten Hag did with what he was and what he was able to achieve with his group. If Ten Hag was given, these signings, his first choice signings, do you see us challenging?
It's hard to judge just by signings, right? Because we can get these 4 names, which will probably get most, if not all, the fan base excited. But I want to see what these 4 or 5 names can do in Ten Hag's system. Preseason, the first 10 to 15 games of the EPL season. I want to see what they can do, right? If memory serves me correct, not much people were excited about Lisandro Martinez. Well, let me rephrase that. People were excited about Lisandro Martinez because he chose Man United over Arsenal, right? People were excited about Casemiro, and I think those are the only 2 signings maybe fans were excited about. But because we know these guys are capable of doing, right? Until we see what they can do in a Ten Hag system, then it's all just excitement, right? Yeah, we signed Mount. Yeah, we signed Kim Major. Yeah, we signed Harry Kane. And those, don't get me wrong, the fan base will be excited, but it's all about what these guys can do when they step onto the pitch for 90 minutes.
But I hear that. But I mean, remember when they get signed, it's because just like with Ronaldo, right? Oli was then expected after he signed Varane, Sancho, and Ronaldo. Oli was expected to challenge for the title, all right? And so signing certain players, there's an expectation that comes with it. So that's just what I'm trying to glean from you guys. What do you say, Nico?
It's real tough to say. It's real tough to say because the quality of the Premier League itself is not going to stand still while we strengthen, right? City is not going to say, let me say they win the treble and Pep is going to sit on his laurels and say, well, all right, we win the treble, we're good enough to go again. Pep is going to continue to strengthen his team. Arsenal, with a strong season, going to continue to strengthen as well. Newcastle going to strengthen as well. Chelsea might be coming up. So
Liverpool as well too.
Yeah, so it's real difficult to say that with 4 or 5 signings we will be challenging. What I could say, what I could hope, is that these signings strengthen us enough to improve our quality and have a decent run in the Champions League. To me, especially for the season coming up, I think. And Ten Hag kind of builds strong cup teams. I think he knows how to manage cup games. So I could see these new signings really bonding in the cup games, Champions League, maybe in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and let me see what happens in the league. I've seen it making the top 4 comfortably, but they really challenge the title. I think that would take more than next season to really see that.
I mean,
I was saying when you really deep it or when you really analyze it, I don't mind challenging for top four again. Next season, I really don't, because like I really don't expect us to be challenging for the title unless we bring in that guy called Harry Kane. Because with Harry Kane now, then you got to switch your expectations, right? You got to say,
and
well,
this is it. This is
you
it.
brought in Harry Kane, top goal scorer for the last probably 5-6 seasons. You have to do something now, right? It's not like Harry Kane going to sign for like a Brighton or a Southampton or a Leeds or whatever. He's signing for Manchester United if it does happen. So then you got to say, well, Harry Kane, you brought him in, then we're saying no. So I guess
I guess
expectation.
from a fan expectation, from being realistic, I still think you have a question mark over just a Harry Kane. You're going to challenge for the title.
I think we being safe to be comments, and that's fair. But because I'm looking at what Ten Hag was able to achieve this season with all kind of thing that happened, right? And all I'm saying is I put in, the man first choice signings on the table and he get them. So we get his striker that we know capable of 30 goals a season, right?
But playing on a team that he's new to, right, as well. So it's not like they're going and click in an instant now.
But he ain't new to the EPL. I'll tell you that for sure.
We're new to the teammates.
I think it would, though. I think it would because the whole mature.
Go ahead, Keith.
I think it would because the whole mature Harry Kane is how experienced he is. How experienced and his technical ability. I think he would hit the ground. I think he can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Keep going there?
Probably. Because when we signed Van Persie, what was your expectation of Van Persie?
No, because Manchester United was a strong team at that time. Manchester United, we didn't have this big gap from the other teams in the league. To me, there's a bigger gap now than before.
Using your logic, Van Persie coming from Arsenal to a new team called Manchester United, he kind of got to hit the ground running.
Yeah, but he came into a team that more or less gelled. And he was just the icing on the cake. He was just the icing on the cake from what we were missing. But to me, this team missing so much that we have a lot of moving pieces coming into the team.
I hear the points you and Phil making. I was just ready to get an idea of what we all see. Let me just pose it to Cave here to get Cave take on it, right? I don't know if you hear the question, Cave, right? Providing that Ten Hag get the signings that he won, the first choice signings, because at United, the norm is to get the second and third and fourth choice, right? But we're talking about Ten Hag getting the first choice signings that he wants. And we just call some names based on what is linked in the media. So we're talking about Kane, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, and Kim Min-jae, right? Do you see Manchester United now challenging for the title, right? Considering what Ten Hag would have done with this group of players and achieve with them.
Nah, this City team will have to significantly get weaker for us to challenge for the title. But I do think that we could challenge maybe we could challenge up to a certain point, but I don't think it's going to be sustainable. Because those four signings will definitely take us to a next level. Probably not a championship level. Listen, man, we dealing with a genius manager and a very deep, good squad. So, I mean, Pep Guardiola is one of the best managers I've ever witnessed. How he's able to maximize the players at his disposal, get the maximum out of the players at his disposal. So this isn't a one-off something. This is a very well built program and players. You gotta hit like 90. What's the most points we've ever made in a season? 91 under Sir Alex Ferguson.
I think
that's basically what you have to get. I think it's 90 or 91 or 92.
92.
That's basically 92. Okay.
I can't.
So you basically got to do that in order to to win a title against City to be guaranteed to be guaranteed. Well, I can't call it guaranteed because City hit 89 this season.
You did they done 100 last season or the season before?
They hit 100. They hit They hit 99. They hit 97. So like I can't even say 91 or 92. Like getting the most points we've ever got. I can't even say that's guaranteed, but it's guaranteed the top two. I could say that. So we'll have to do something that we've never done before in order to displace this City team. The big question is, can we do it again? Because in this City team, you see how look how it got Liverpool. Liverpool broken up. You know, not all the drama. They're broken up because of injuries, trying to chase the City team. This City team is a juggernaut. We're witnessing something special. You got to give Jack his jacket. We're witnessing something special. The league has never seen something like this before. A team that could score so many points, so many different ways, dominating football the way it does. That's how I see it. So to give Ten Hag those players, if we could get more points that we've ever got before, then we maybe can have a conversation. We wouldn't be too far off winning.
I can be a bit controversial. And this may be a very unpopular opinion, but City have not been that impressive in the EPL this season, okay? Only Erling Haaland has been.
Wow, you serious?
Erling Haaland has been impressive for City this season. There have been better seasons in the last 10 years that City have been more impressive. Erling Haaland has been the standout player.
It's all about getting the points on the board, though.
Check it now. Did City win this? Did City win the EPL this season, or did Arsenal bottle it? Think about your answer.
City win.
No,
City won it.
City win.
This is
Think
what
about your
I was to
answer.
get at. But this is what, and I'm glad Phil mentioned that, right? And just to digress a little bit, this is what I was trying to get at, because last season, where Arsenal finished? Fifth or sixth or something, right?
Sixth or fifth.
The finished fifth.
And all Arsenal did was bring in, because Arteta was there a while, so he was able to work with the group. But Arteta brought in a defense. Well, this guy, what's his name again? The defender who got injured in the later part of the season. Saliba. And Jesus.
And Zinchenko.
And Zinchenko. These were the three players Arteta brought in. And the team was on top of the league for 200 and something days. Now, if they were better or wherever, right? Wherever, they may have pushed City to the last day. I even say that Arsenal would have win the league. They may have pushed City to the last day. I believe Arsenal bottled it. City didn't win. I know all it.
And I disagree. Because here why?
Right?
So when you had to beat teams in front of you, you had to beat teams in front of you, regardless of what. It's like they stumble over the line.
Nico,
They
you're not
beat the team
wrong.
convincingly and beat Liverpool and beat Arsenal too.
Nico, you're not wrong, but Arsenal.
And I'm a go.
Arsenal didn't drop points against City to lose the league. They dropped points against Southampton, against West Ham.
Liverpool.
Those are the games that Arsenal drop off
what
in.
Nico say, because we are making us a good points, but I'm a supporter what Nico say in terms of you got to beat teams right in front of you. When Manchester United, when we won the league, what was it, 2008 or 9? No, it wasn't 9. One of those 2 years. We were struggling against teams that just got promoted.
Okay.
Like you don't win the league by sweeping everybody 38 games. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be a lot of games where you come from behind. Like during that season, there were a lot of games we came from behind, and we came out on top. There was a period that we went winning games by 1 goal or 2 goals. We weren't blowing teams out the water. So it doesn't have to look pleasing it doesn't have to look aesthetically pleasing to the eye. It's all about putting the points on the board, and that's what City has been doing consistently for the past 5-6 seasons under Pep Guardiola. And that's why I say, even if they don't look good this season, they still managed to get 89 points on the board.
Yeah.
89 points. That is winning most. Point. That's winning most through the Premier League period. That's winning most league title winning seasons.
Let me go back to Arsenal. let's say City, let's say Ars, let's say in the last 10
Arsenal was
games.
never going. Arsenal was never going to win that.
Oh Lord. And that's easy to say. No, that Arsenal have come second. But let's say Arsenal only lost to City home and away this season and won the rest of their games. Who won in the league?
Then they would have won the league. They would have won the league.
Arsenal, yeah.
That's
Yeah, but they would have won the
that's
league. Guys.
idealistic. That'd be idealistic. That's unrealistic.
No, but
you
what-
just
what-
can't
what-
lose 2 games then. That's
Yeah.
I know,
normal.
But the point,
Abnormal.
the point that filmmaking that kind of going into what I'm trying to get at is that
Mhm.
I don't think City won it outside of Arsenal bottling.
Exactly.
Because there were certain games that you would expect Arsenal, who were in the lead, who were league leaders, that they were supposed to win. If you're on that trajectory and you're so close to the finish line, and you start to drop points against West Ham.
You see how Dortmund
Yeah, but-
and Bayern Munich. You see how Dortmund.
You're not
wait,
expecting-
Nico. You
you're
see
not
how
expecting them
Dortmund
to
and
lose
Bayern
those
Munich-
games.
You see how
'Cause
Dortmund
City
and
didn't
Bayern
lose
Munich
those
carried
games.
to the last day of the Bundesliga. Dortmund and Bayern Munich carried it to the last day of the Bundesliga, and Dortmund just had to score a penalty to win the Eredivisie. That wasn't the EPL this season. Arsenal were 8 points ahead of City. I'm telling you, Manchester City were not that impressive this season. Arsenal bottled it. Sorry.
But let me just bring me
No,
back.
no.
But
89
guys,
points is not impressive.
just-
Putting 89
let me
points
just-
in where it's not impressive.
guys,
Because they want
Hey, look, I'ma just say this,
City
right?
drop points as well.
Because
City drop
because
points
City
as
being
well.
so dominant on. I was just about to say, because City being so dominant under Pep Guardiola, we got to a point where Phil thinks that 89 points is not impressive.
I know watching the points in a case. I
Arsenal,
know watching the
not
points.
Arsenal. Manchester City have had better EPL seasons than this season. That I was like, whoa, I was not impressed.
You basically
with City.
just repeating what it said. You
No,
basically
no,
just
right,
repeating what it said.
but
That
it's
City
not
have raised the
necessarily-
standards under Pep to the point that 89 points is not impressive.
Yeah, but I ain't
89
even
points winning
talking
so many
about-
leagues.
Right, but I ain't even talking about the point tally. What I'm saying is, and the point I'm trying to get at is Arsenal jumped from 5th to 1st to 2nd late in the season.
In
Right?
one summer transfer window.
And that was just one transfer window bringing in Zinchenko, Saliba, and
Jesus.
Jesus.
Saliba,
This is what I'm asking.
Saliba is a top talent, and that's the
So
thing.
this-
No, in order to match that, no, that means that we have to bring in 2 championship winning, proven guys, plus a top talent in their position. Because Saliba is a top talent in his position. Jesus and Zinchenko came from a vetted championship winning team. Is Kane that? Kane is a top talent.
And that goes back to my
Is
point.
Kim that? Is
That
Declan Rice
goes
that?
back to-
Is Mason Mount that?
That goes back
So
to
my-
my point
my-
of
my-
we scouting players who could come and do a role. That would not get us back to where
So
we
my thing is that with
we
regards
have
to
to get quality
Zinchenko-
players, championship winning players.
my thing with Zinchenko and Jesus is that Zinchenko and Jesus were never
Elite players.
elite players, one, and they did not contribute significantly to City winning the title.
Zinchenko, simple as Zinchenko, as much as he wasn't a left back and he played left back for City for maybe 2 seasons when
Exactly.
they won the title.
That-
at
that-
left
No,
back.
no, 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 no,
That
no,
experience-
no, no.
That experience is going to
No,
play.
no, no,
that
no,
experience
no,
is going to
no.
play a big
I
role,
can
though.
tell you who was playing left back
Yeah, who's
and
play-
right back for City when they won the titles. Fabian
It's
Delph,
Cancelo and
Cancelo,
And Walker.
and who?
No,
Kyle
no,
Walker?
no,
And Kyle
someone
Walker
left
as
back.
well too.
Left back.
Kyle Walker on the right, Cancelo on the left.
Cancelo on the left, Walker on the right.
Correct.
Yeah, but
You
it had
really,
seasons before.
you
Remember,
really think
Pep is 3 in a row. Pep is 3 in a row now.
you really think you,
It's 3 in a row now.
wait, let me
It
ask
had
a question.
seasons where Zinchenko
Let me-
played a lot of games on the left hand side.
Let me ask a
So
question.
City-
You really think Pep Guardiola was sweating and crying and in tears when City sold Jesus and Zinchenko to Arsenal? You think he was in
Of course
tears?
But listen,
Of course,
Phil,
because you know
if you're
Haaland,
part of the Arsenal,
coming.
if you're part of the Arsenal camp, right? If you're part of the Arsenal camp, and 2 guys coming from a championship winning proven team, because Jesus played a lot of games. We're not talking about Zinchenko. Jesus played a lot of games. He would play a bit not a bit part role, but he would play outright or left
On the right.
sometimes or through the middle.
Yeah, on the right.
He was very
Yeah.
versatile up front. He played more games than Zinchenko. But if you're part of the Arsenal camp and you see that guys are coming from a proven championship winning program, it's gonna raise the expectations in that camp alone.
Exactly.
So it's gonna raise, so it's gonna up the game. And that's the thing, when you bring in people like that who have played a pivotal role, whether it was Zinchenko who played averaged probably like 12, 15 games a season in the league. That's like one third, roughly one third. That's still significant. That's still a significant number, and it's an improvement to what they have. So it's going to raise expectations. It's going to raise the quality. It's going to raise the training sessions. It's going to raise a lot of things as significant as you may think it may seem. It's going to raise those things within that training camp. And that's the thing when you bring those starter players, it's going to do.
Yes and no. You got to still remember that Arteta was Pep's assistant at Manchester City as well too. So
even that too. And he knows what he was bringing in. And that supports my point. He knows what he was bringing in.
Even to go back to the 4 or 5 signings that Reem called about 10 minutes ago. Mason Mount, Champions League with Chelsea, right? Kim Major.
Yeah, y'all know I rate Mason Mount.
I rate him too.
I don't want to pay 80 mil for him. But that's
that's mad money.
We're not talking about price. I just rated.
Yeah.
Kim Major just won Serie A with Napoli as a starting centre back, not coming off the bench or whatever, or being a side man. Starting centre back for Napoli, right? Harry Kane is Harry Kane.
One season.
Harry Kane is Harry Kane. Declan Rice.
Nothing. No accolades to his no team accolades to his name. Kim 1 season championship in it.
So wait. So Kevin, you were not saying Harry Kane?
One season winning thing.
Say Kim.
I spoke about Harry Kane already. I'm not saying that he's not quality. I'm not too much say Harry Kane is quality when it comes to experience, when it comes to technical ability, all that stuff. I'm not saying I wouldn't sign him, but I'm saying that is a different sort of vibe when you bring in guys from a proven championship winning program versus Harry Kane. Harry Kane is coming from a proven. Harry Kane individually is still going to raise the expectations and still going to raise everything.
Correct.
When it comes to United, because of his quality and because of his reputation. Because this man scores against Harry Kane scored in 70% of the games that he played this season. That is elite. That's top. Top brass.
But Kev, let me just knock back that point that you're making there, because you're saying I agree to extent, because you're saying about coming from a title-winning, challenging team. But we can make the same. I could fight you on that with Van Persie. Arsenal was who when Van Persie came. Dwight York was Aston Villa was who when Dwight York came.
But still, they came into that team with champions. They came into that team with champions.
Who?
As much as they themselves.
I was just about to say, right.
We're not champions. They came in a team with a mentality of champions. So they just came and put the cherry on top of the cake.
I can bet you right now.
Those were the final pieces to the program.
Yeah.
I can bet you right now. If we sign Harry Kane, he will make a bigger impact for us than Jesus and Zinchenko did for Arsenal.
I believe that.
I can bet that right now, and I can confidently say that. Anyway, get your comments, Reem.
Yeah, no, but this was a real good discussion. Very, very intelligent. Everybody articulated their points real good and represented. I still believe, even though Nico and Phil was real safe with their comments, I believe if we get those signings, we have to challenge. I'm not accepting nothing other than no beating around the bush.
I don't think we're gonna challenge. We're gonna challenge. We're gonna do the Arsenal. We're gonna challenge up to a certain point.
Yeah, you're gonna set up yourself for a heartbreak.
So this City team is only going to get hungrier and better, because we know they're going to add some pieces this summer to strengthen this squad.
But I'm measuring it based on what I saw happen with our Arsenal team, right? After bringing in players that may not have been even on the same level as the players that we're going to bring in our team. And then again,
because Jesus is not a Harry Kane. Harry Kane is guaranteed goal.
Right, even on top of that, right? You bring in Ten Hag. Prove to me, at least to me, you give Harry Kane, you give Ten Hag a strikerless team, right, with one fit first choice defender, how much games do you have to play without a proper defensive midfielder? And look at what that man achieved with his team. You telling me you're giving this man his first choice players and he's not going to challenge for the title next season?
I want to make this. I want to make this last point. I want to make this last point.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nico. Go ahead. But I want to make the last point before.
The consistency of the players from Arsenal this season. The consistency of Odegaard, the consistency of Saka, the consistency of Martinelli, the consistency of Gabriel, the consistency of Saliba. Those are what got Arsenal to that position. Is it that the players are around Kane going to be like that? Is it that Rashford, Anthony, Bruno, Casemiro, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw going to be as consistent as Arsenal players were this season?
But look how
And that way the question mark is because we have never seen them consistent over an entire season. We have never seen that.
But I can make the same argument for the Arsenal players too, because Partey was always injured. Xhaka was
correct.
No, but when he was there, he was consistent and he was good, and that is the reason why they didn't win the title, because of that consistency. Because they lost that consistency because for the most of the season they were consistent. Partey was an excellent part of that team. Xhaka was an excellent part of that team going forward until they lose that consistency. Saka as well.
But check it now. We going into the Champions League. That in itself meaning that we cannot rotate heavily like we did in the other competition. Also, Ten Hag is a coach that he doesn't prioritize competitions. So that means he's going to put out his best squad.
But
we cannot fight. We cannot fight. Let me learn. We cannot fight on Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup. We cannot fight on those four fronts and think that we're gonna have enough gas to challenge in the league. Look at how we started in the league these last few games. Because Ten Hag doesn't rotate, especially if he doesn't have the players to rotate. We're not going to have no secondary.
I think that is it there. I think that is it there, Cave. Because if he don't have the players to rotate, then he won't rotate. But if he get reinforcements and he have players to rotate and players on the bench we could trust,
but we just going off of the four players. We just going off of the four players that we got. If you rotate, who gonna come in for those four players? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. So we still have Eriksen.
Man City could bring Mahrez, Foden, Alvarez, any other defenders. No, this goalkeeper. Man City could depend. Pep could depend. Foden was just one of the best players in the league last season and season before. No, this man coming off the bench. We know what Mahrez could do. Mahrez is consistently a great deputy on that right wing. Alvarez, we know the quality in Alvarez. Look at Manchester United squad. Who we got coming off the bench? It ain't gonna be Martial. Sorry.
We get two strikers. No. Let Marcel go away. We get two strikers. No, but point taken. Right, point taken. Let me just get through the comments, guys, because we had to wrap it, right? Point taken. All right. And this is saying here with the amount of money teams will spend this summer, the top four, other than City, will be a rotation for the next few years. I believe if Ten Hag gets at least 2 or 3 of his first choice players, I think top 4 is realistic, as well as some more of them more deep cup runs. Yeah. Tristan on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He said he won't be here next season. It's why we're after Mount and Rabiot. I don't know who Tristan talking about. All right. Dwayne saying Chelsea coming. Yeah, Chelsea looking to sign some players, but they proved this season that signings is not right. Simeon saying here, looking at this team attack this year, I want a real aggressive attacking mid that can run the offense and run through traffic. All right. Tristan also saying here, we don't need just the striker, we need a new goalkeeper as well.
All right.
Dwayne saying here, before Casemiro, first Red and Martinez injury, we were seriously challenging. We fell off after those two circumstances. Varane injury as well, include that there too. Right? Kaden saying here, I believe once we improve... once we improve our away form with new signings, we can compete. Our away form was our main problem this season.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Balcaran on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. Good night to you.
Hey, good night, man.
Right. And Dwayne saying it was 91 points in the 99-2000 season, Cave. All right. Kaden saying here City only beat one team in the top half of the table, and that was Arsenal.
Oh,
So
91
why-
points. That's the most we
so-
ever scored.
So
Yeah.
91. Yeah. So
Okay.
so yeah, Phil Arsenal hand City the league. So Kaden saying it here, right? Peter-
Phil, you heard that? 91 points is the most we ever scored, but 89 points is still not impressive to you.
No.
Well, my point was different. It wasn't really points I was looking at, right? Peter saying here, Phil is partially correct. Arsenal flopped it. However, City did what they needed to do to acquire the points. All right. He also saying here, but City struggled with some sides, but they came away with 1-0 victories. Right, and I
Exactly.
think, yeah,
And
Cave
that's what it's all about. It's all about getting
Yeah.
points on the board.
Yeah, inevitable, just as you said, are correct, right?
Oh shoot, it could be me.
Yeah. Dwayne saying yes, City scored more goals and conceded less than last season. Now it's Haaland.
That's Haaland.
Right?
That's Haaland.
Yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it. That's Erling Haaland. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Move on now.
He also saying here, same like how Cassie.
He says City scored more this season and conceded less, or scored less and conceded more.
And they scored more and conceded less last season.
Oh,
And they scored more is Haaland. We know that.
Yeah.
yeah, because the wingers, their wingers were contributing goals too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dwayne saying here, Ten Hag was Pep assistant in Bayern.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Balkan saying here, Mason is Tata. He is not consistent, but he can add better depth compared to McTominay and Fred. But Kane is a key player to sign, proven and consistent. All right. He also saying, I think I have seen enough to say Anthony is overrated, and we need at least a centre back, 2 centre mid, and 2 strikers. But all those signings need to be starting quality. All right. Doing correct.
Anthony catching smoke on it. Anthony catching smoke on his day off, man.
All right, so you correct. Let's say he said no, they scored more last season. Okay.
They did. Okay.
All right. So I guess we can look to wrap it there. That was all the comments. So guys, thanks again for all the likes, all the shares, all the comments. Nico, Cave, Phil. We've come to the end of another season, which we can to some extent say was a success. I mean, when you consider
No, you should say that proudly, man. We should say that
It was positive.
proudly.
Positive. Yeah. Considering the expectations.
It was progress, and to some extent, success. Are we doing a season review or?
Yeah. We'll do a season review.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So
Today or another episode?
No, another episode. All right, because we're gonna wrap up now. Yeah. So we'll do what they call the post-mortem or the review of the season. We'll do that. So I mean, it's unfortunate that we couldn't stop City's run for the treble. To me, I think they'll get it done. Wherever.
It is
right?
what it is,
Forza Inter.
Yeah.
I really don't see Inter stopping this City team, but whatever, right?
Listen, man, Inter can't do it. I don't see it, but Inter can't do it because if we give City problems on set pieces, trust me, they got more weapons on set pieces than that.
They got three former United players, and it's Darmian, Mkhitaryan, and Lukaku. Boy, do something.
I give them care about United anyway.
Yeah, they make it about United, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So yeah. So guys, unfortunately, we couldn't stop it, and we couldn't get the second trophy, but third place. The fact that Ten Hag went strong against Fulham, it now making sense to us, right? Because now we could say we finished third. Third place and the Carabao Cup is not bad. The first shout considering what Ten Hag had to deal with, and we'll get deeper into this. Next podcast as we do the season review. Right? So it was good. Again, guys, don't forget that we're also on YouTube. So if you haven't already, you could go across and subscribe. And continue to support All in All United because we committed to bringing the content, Manchester United content to you all. So so Phil, Nico, Cave, guys, it was nice. Guys, in the comments, it was nice. Thanks for joining us, and see you all on the next one. Have a good night.
Hey, good night.
Yeah.
Yes, fellas. Our ladies.